Hello, and welcome to the Spiritual Uprising podcast, the podcast designed to inspire women and men to rise up and out of the life they've been told to live and step into the life they were truly meant to live. I'm your host, Amanda Campbell, and this is episode 3. Today's episode is all about what to do if you think you might be intuitive. I'll be talking about what you need to know in order to get started and open up your intuitive gifts. I'm going to try my very best to keep this episode as short and to the point as possible. Let me first start by saying that we are all intuitive. Some intuitive gifts come out in full force when we're children. But if that wasn't the case for you, then it's as simple as toning a muscle. I say simple, but just like going to the gym, it takes time, dedication, and a little bit of knowledge. You wouldn't go to the gym and sweat your face off for 3 hours and not drink a drop of water. You already have the knowledge that staying hydrated is essential. So, because we're all intuitive and are all unique, that means our gifts are unique as well. Many people will tell you stories about how they were intuitive as a child. If you're like me, you don't have any cool stories like that. I didn't wake up to see my dead grandmother standing at the end of the bed or predict a sickness or death in the family. For me personally, intuitive gifts and intuition wasn't really something that was understood or talked about in my family. So I just assumed it was something you were born with. You were born a psychic or a medium, or you weren't. But that's not the case. Some are born with those gifts and are tuned in at such a young age, but some, or maybe I should say most of us, are not. But if you were not born some crazy accurate psychic, don't worry, there is still hope for you. Now, when I say that our intuitive gifts are just as unique as we are, that's because there are gifts, I'll call them gifts or categories called clairs. So that means that we all receive information in different ways. We tend to all have one or two strongest clair. So you may receive your information in images in your mind, or you may receive it by hearing voices, or you may receive information just by absolutely knowing what is true. Because everyone's gifts are so different, that's what kind of makes it so fun to try and tune into or try to develop. But if you're just starting out and ready to step into this spiritual, intuitive world, then here are some tips I have for you. Tip number 1 is to do some reading. Find content that speaks to you and understand what you're getting yourself into. And I'm not saying that to freak you out, but developing our intuition tends to force us to look at things from a new perspective. And I had just mentioned the clairs, so I would strongly suggest you read up on those, at least until I can get an episode out on them. Learning about the clairs right off the bat will help you in understanding what is happening when you start hearing voices or seeing images. And it's definitely something I wish I knew about when my intuition started to break free. Tip number 2 is to take a look at tools. You don't need to get started with them right away, but try to get a feel for the tools you like. That could be crystals, journals, tarot cards, oracle cards, angel cards. Just go exploring a little bit. Go down that black hole of Pinterest and see what calls your name. You could head over and read some blogs or watch some YouTube videos. Read some books. There's tons about intuitive development and psychic abilities. Try to soak in some knowledge. And just like anything else, you might start using the tools and feel you don't really like it, and that's okay. This whole journey is about trying new things and trusting. And one of the reasons I mentioned to take a look at tools is because I feel there's so much information out there about crystals, for example, but it's hard to find information to tell you actually how to use them. I mean, I know how to use them, but I also went to school and took classes on crystals and how to use them, among other things. So I realized that I'm at a little bit of a better advantage than some other people. But when I came out of school, I felt like there was so much information overload, I guess. And I suddenly didn't know how to put all my knowledge into play. I mean, if you're already following me on social media at The Intuitive Wife, then you know that I already have a blog and YouTube channel to try and help beginners just getting started with intuition and intuitive development and how to use the tools that are available to them. And if possible, how to do it all for free or super cheap. Because it's so easy to see those huge crystals on Instagram, those massive amethyst geodes, and you're just like, that was $500. I'm not dropping $500 on a rock. The third tip I have for you is to take note of your energy. When you're communicating with angels and guides, you have to remember that they're at a much higher vibration than we are, and they need to come down a little bit to talk to us, and in turn, we need to raise our vibration a little bit to talk to them. So, if you're someone who is constantly in a low vibration, you're going to have a harder time communicating with your angels and guides. But don't worry, it can still be done. Start by taking note of the things that bring your energy down. This could be certain people, certain foods. If you're an empath, you may find that certain shows make you feel pretty crappy. And once you've identified them, try to distance yourself from them, even if it's only temporary. And I realize that's not always an easy thing to do. So, not only are you going to try and distance yourself, but you're going to also work on raising your vibration at the same time. And sticking around the people or things that lower your vibration just means you're going to have to work that much harder to bring your vibration up again. To raise your vibration, there's a few things you can do. There's journaling, showing gratitude, spending time in nature. There's EFT tapping. There's listening to your favorite playlist on Spotify while you dance around the house. It could really be anything that makes you feel good and put a smile on your face. Tip number 4 is to remain open. Have fun with this. If you commute to work and listen to music on the way, before you start your drive, tell your angels and guides that you're open to receiving messages from them. Then pay attention to what comes up for you. It could be license plates, like constantly seeing 333, 444, or 1111 on the clock, because they're trying to send you angel numbers to let you know that they're with you and supporting you. You could change the channel on the radio and hear a song you haven't heard in years, or tune into that exact moment in the song that really resonates with you. Or you could be listening to a song, change the channel, and hear the exact same song again. Pay attention to the lyrics. Our angels and guides are not physical beings, they don't have voice boxes. So they have to get creative in communicating with us. Tip number 5 is to surround yourself with like-minded, non-judgmental people. Depending on where you live, there might not be a whole lot of those. You might need to go to a local metaphysical store. And by the way, those are the stores that sell the crystals and the cards and the sage and all that really fun stuff. If you don't have any of those close by, then join a Facebook group. You're welcome to join my Facebook group, The Spiritual Apprentice, but there are tons and tons of Facebook groups out there. You can even follow certain hashtags on Instagram. That will fill your feed with related information, and from there, you'll start to notice the people commenting. And before you know it, you're having conversations with people online that you've never even met, yet you feel so connected to. And the last tip I have, tip number 6, is to be patient with yourself. This is not an overnight process. Some things will confuse you, irritate you, infuriate you, or overwhelm you. You don't need to be super intuitive by the end of the weekend. If your ego keeps stepping in, it's okay. It's going to be harder for you to tune into yourself, and some days it'll be easier than others. It's okay to take a breath and step away for a little bit. Just remember to stick with it. I'm actually working on a little project right now that I'm pretty excited about. I'm working on creating a workbook with journal prompts and information on the clairs. This way, you can tune into your clairs using the exercises in the workbook and use the journaling prompts to reflect on your experience and track your growth. I'm super excited about this workbook because I know it's going to reduce the overwhelm and frustration that comes with developing your intuitive abilities. I'm going to try really hard to have the workbook done before this episode goes live, and if it's ready, I'll post the link for it in the show notes. For now, these are all the tips I have for you if you're considering developing your intuition or think you might be intuitive. If you want to continue the conversation, like I said, you are more than welcome to head on over to my Facebook group, The Spiritual Apprentice. We talk about crystals and chakras and intuition and intuitive development. So if that's something that interests you, head on over. We'd be happy to have you. Until next time, have a great day.